live 15 minutes ago, but because I wanted to make sure everything was set up. Lately, I've been having a really hard time figuring out how to do both the TikTok and the YouTube live on the weekends because my baby, I have him with me a lot of times or all the time, and it's difficult. Hey Effie, how are you, Mama? Hey Kim, just checking in with you guys real quick. I was just saying I'm a little bit late. I was supposed to start 15 minutes ago. Denise, I Sunflower, hi ladies, welcome. But I was trying to set up everything. Hey Kendra, hey Mama, how are you? So that I'm not as trying to juggle everything usually. So I got the baby's cart set up. I prepped all of his bottles so I can spend as much time as possible with you guys today and also kind of be next to the good morning self-made, good morning star, Dina, Bowlegs 32. Hey, you guys, welcome in. But as always, you guys tap in. I have YouTube. Hey Liz, hey Mama, how are you? Hey. Let me know how you guys are doing. I'll start just to get it going. Kendra says, I'm early today. I'm all right. How are you? Good to see you, Mama. Just Mia, how you guys? Welcome in. I had another rough night personally. I don't know if everybody else, how y'all did last night with the babies. I told you guys last time my son is kind of at this phase right now where it's not just 2 hours, it's like every hour and 45 minutes throughout the night, you guys. So I have been really exhausted, especially with work and everything, juggling everything. And Liz, let us know how you're doing over there and on YouTube. Check in and tell us what your situation is. Are you a mom? Are you postpartum? What's the deal? What's going on with you? With you, excuse me. Um, Shalom, Captain Tazariak has graced us with his presence. Thank you so much, and thank you for the like. Kendra says her night was rough. Man, same here. And I think we kind of get to a point where you just like you get accustomed to it, right? I was actually talking to someone at work about this the other day. I'm just like, I am freaking tired. I am so tired. You're so exhausted, but some way or another you're just kind of like you're chugging along, but you're feeling the exhaustion, right? But it's a functional exhaustion. It's super bizarre. I don't know if any of you ladies are having the same experience. And Thawada to Cap again for the like. Hi Synth, hi Tiara, welcome you guys, welcome in. And again, you ladies feel free to tap in. Liz says, I have 3 kids, currently 6 months postpartum, and same, nights are tough. Still breastfeeding every 2 hours. She is still getting up. Man, so Liz is 6 months out, and has your daughter, does she have a sleeping routine yet? Are you guys, how does that work? Is she sleeping you said she's getting up every 2 hours? So that's tough, man, and that's something that we've talked about before too, breastfeeding. Women who exclusively breastfeed have it really hard. Also, are you exclusively breastfeeding, Liz? It's just it's a process, and sometimes when you're in it, it's like I know the baby phase, the infant phase is only going to last so long, but when you're actively in it, it doesn't feel like that, right? It feels like this is my life, like this is forever. So it's an adjustment. It's really hard. Ty Loves, welcome in. Liz says, I just feed on demand. Yes, I went through a period with my son also where you just feed on demand. And let me know what your experience has been, Liz, because for me, I almost felt like feeding on demand made it more difficult because he wasn't on a set schedule, right? It was just like whenever he's ready, that's when we're doing it. And it made it difficult for me to kind of organize my day and figure out how I was going to get things done around the house. So how is that impacting you and how you do your day-to-day work, like how you move around the house, how you handle your other babies? I know you mentioned you have 2 other children. How does feeding on demand impact your day? And if we have any other moms on here that also do breastfeeding on demand, y'all tap in and let me know what your experience has been also. Kendra said, just said that I'm giving in, but I don't want to feel, hold on, I don't want to feel normal praying it passes soon. Kendra saying, yeah, she just said that I'm giving in, but I don't want it to feel normal praying it passes soon. Loving My 2 says, yes, I just got this breastfeeding under control. It's definitely a learning experience, right? It's like you have to learn your baby, learn how they latch. But what Kendra was saying is that, I'm assuming this is what you mean, Kendra, is you don't want to normalize this routine of being exhausted, right? Of all the time waking up throughout the night and just making that your life. It's hard not to just be like, okay, this is my life now. Because it's not, it's temporary, right? But it doesn't feel like that when you're in it, man. Love in My 2 says she just got her breastfeeding under control. Hi, HOFL, welcome in. Kendra said, yes, that's correct. What has your experience been like loving my tooth? For me, with breastfeeding my son, I didn't produce milk. And for anybody who's been in any of the other lives, if I'm repeating a story you've heard before, I apologize. But for me, he didn't start breastfeeding until about 4 or 5 days, which is when my milk actually kicked in. And we ended up having to do breast milk and supplement with formula because I just didn't produce enough. But the whole breastfeeding experience, I think the first 2 to 3 weeks of it, every time my son would latch, it was the most painful. It took so long to kind of get adjusted to that clamp down. I don't know if you ladies have the same experience, man, but it can definitely be a painful experience, and it is certainly something to get adjusted to. Liz says, I definitely work around her. This is my first time breastfeeding, and it affects my day a lot, to be honest, to the point I want to stop. My mental health can't take it sometimes. I also have an autistic 8-year-old. Wow. So you're definitely juggling a lot, and I think a lot of moms with autistic children can attest to that. We had a mom check in a couple days ago. I think she has a 4 and a 5-year-old. Both of her children have severe autism. So I always like to shout you guys out and show y'all some love, because managing a special needs baby and then having a newborn and then you have another child who also needs your attention, how do you spread yourself out, right? How do you meet the needs of every single baby? That's a lot. So hats off to you, man, for figuring that out and juggling that. Have you considered maybe pumping? Does she take the bottle at all, just to kind of free up some of your time and maybe free up your hands so that you're not so overwhelmed with breastfeeding on demand, having to tend to your 8-year-old and do everything else that needs to be done around the house, or not even just around the house, just taking care of you? Are you able to get a shower in? Things like that can be affected by breastfeeding and just juggling the needs of your children individually. Love and Two says, I finally start producing milk 2 days ago, and yes, I just feed him whenever he's ready to eat. And again, I was doing that too, you guys. I was also feeding on demand, but for me personally, I knew that I was gonna have to go back to work. So I had to put him on a schedule, right? It's like I can't just feed you on demand because I have to put you in daycare, and you're not gonna be able to just get fed every time you want to. So it's hard. It's definitely hard to breastfeed on demand, but I love that you guys are able to do that for your kids and connect with your babies when they're like in those moments, right? And it's difficult when you're in it. It's exhausting. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, sometimes it's painful, but being able to connect with your child and be there and provide them with that kind of closeness, I think, is invaluable also. So it's I guess we got to find the balance in breastfeeding and everything that it sort of encompasses. Which is the best breast pump to purchase? Love in My Two says, I didn't buy a breast pump, you guys. So I was actually gifted one by one of my friends. She had just had her daughter a month before me, and she had two. It's called Aurora Glow or something like that. It's the portable ones that you just kind of put on and you can walk around the house with. It worked really well for me, again, because I didn't produce a lot. Again, it's called Aurora Glow, GLO, not GLOW. And they worked fine, but I wouldn't be the best person to ask about that. We have had a mom, Miss Chin, check in, and I think it's Cetra. Cetra was one that was mentioned. I think Baby Buddha was another one that was mentioned. I can't remember if it was Yummy Mummy or something like that, MUMMY. There are a couple different breast pumps that have been recommended on here, and please feel free to tap in if you guys have. Hey, Mama K says Spectra. Mommed, another one, is it called Mommed, MOMMED? Mama K is recommending that one as well. You guys please share what your breast pump recommendations are if you have any. I also had a little handheld one that I use. It's just like a little silicone one that I had before I got the pump, so I was literally hand expressing the milk. It's called Hakka, HAKKA, and it was just one little individual container, and I would just go from one to the other, just hand expressing. I think maybe I would get up to 70 mLs in one session. Kendra says, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I feed on demand. It's getting better. She gets full quicker now, so it's spread out. So I love that, man. I love that you have that flexibility in your schedule and you're able to, you know, be at home with her. Like that's the best situation to be in, being a stay-at-home mom, especially when you're feeding on demand like that, man. So I love that for her. This hand one have my hand tired. Loving my two says yes. This hand one has my hand tired. So she has a, looks like Loving my two also has a handheld breast pump. For me, it all, you know what? I used it for a long time. I used it up until I was gifted the breast pump. I really didn't prioritize getting a breast pump. Um, it just, for whatever reason, it was just easier to, let me just sit here real quick for these few minutes, squeeze out whatever I can and store it and then go about my day. So I didn't have to really do a lot of maintenance with the handheld one. It's just one little silicone container. So you're not worrying about taking parts apart or charging or sterilizing, or the sterilization process taking as long. So there were some benefits to having that single handheld one. DVG, hey DVG, she says, I use Haka when I nurse on the other side. It'll catch all your letdown as you nurse. Yeah, so like she was saying, all of your letdown when you're feeding your baby on one side, and then, you know, sometimes your other breast will leak. So it's good to have that just to catch, make sure you're not wasting any of it, because it's precious, right? It's so hard to pump, it's so hard to breastfeed. So having that Haka on hand just to make sure you're not wasting, none of your breast milk is going to waste, comes in handy. Hey Josette. So Liz says she'll take a bottle when I'm not around, or if she's really hungry. Take care, I have to go. We'll definitely join again. All right, Mama, you have a great day. Yeah, so Liz is breastfeeding on demand, and she's saying her baby will take a bottle if she's really, really hungry. But I know it can be difficult for moms who breastfeed exclusively to get their children to take a bottle. We had a mom check in, and she was going back to work and saying how difficult that it was because her daughter would not take a bottle. So Mama Kay says, Mommed is a very affordable portable pump. Medela, I love Medela. My favorite thing about Medela was the nipple cream that the hospital provided. You know, they would give you the little packets of them, and I found that was the best freaking nipple cream because you're blistered, you're aching and stuff, and that one healed me up the quickest. And for any moms that are new to breastfeeding, another thing that they advised in the hospital, the lactation nurse said, was to take some of your colostrum and put that on yourself to help it heal up quicker. So I did my setup a little bit differently today, guys, so that I could, yes, Papa, I see you. So that I could tend to him. I'm sitting at the couch instead of at my desk where I usually sit, so I don't have to keep getting off the camera every time to go change a diaper. Mom, so we were talking about Medela, and then a lot of insurances will cover your breast pump too. I really wish I had wrote down the websites that Chin had mentioned. She did cover a couple of different websites that offer your breast pump through insurance, but Mama K is 100% correct. Some insurance will cover your breast pump. Divine Feminine says, just wanted to say you're so pretty. Congrats on your baby. Thank you, Mama. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Mama K says it's actually pronounced Mom Med. Okay, so it's not mommed. It's Mom Med, like mom medicine, like short for mom medicine. Okay, got it. And then Airflow and Motif are websites I know. So Mama K is also saying Airflow and Motif. Motif is spelled M-O-T-I-F. So all of these recommendations, Love and My Two, have been mentioned. Thank you, Kendra. She says, sweet baby boy. Bree, good morning, Mama. Welcome, Bree. Destiny, welcome, you guys. So what are some other experiences that you guys have been having? I know another mom came on here and she was breastfeeding. Francesca, good morning, Mama. Liz Perez, how are you, ladies? Jen Wave, welcome back, honey. How are you? Winsome Myers, welcome, welcome. Another mom had mentioned that she was gaining weight during breastfeeding, and that seemed strange to me because that hadn't been my experience. And then lo and behold, I go through this period the last couple of weeks, and I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's a diet thing. I don't know what the situation is. But I've been getting like, I feel like my stomach is so bloated, and I don't know if it's my nutrition. I don't know if it's stress. And I also mentioned to you guys, I think last week I saw this video and it was talking about cortisol. And cortisol, when your stress levels are high and cortisol levels are high, your body holds on to body fat because it's trying to protect itself, right? Because it thinks you're in danger because you're so stressed out. And I'm assuming that's coming from the exhaustion, getting up all through the night, handling the kids, going to work. All that is causes a lot of stress. So I'm wondering if that's why my stomach has been just really, really bloated. I don't know if anybody else is also having that experience with their body weight or bloating. Liz Perez says, I know Baby Liz does. That's where I got mine. So Liz got her breast pump from Baby List. Thank you for the follow, Mama. Jen says, hey, Mama, I had an emergency C-section on Thursday. So Jen has gone into labor and had her baby. How are you feeling, man? How's baby doing? I hate that it was an emergency C-section, but I'm so happy. I know you're not even thinking about that. You're probably just loving on your baby. How are you feeling, man? So Jen is, what, you're 2 days out now? Wow. Did they get you up and walking? Are you still in the hospital? When are you scheduled to go home? How did it go? What was the experience like? Tell us what's going on with you. So big congrats to Jen and her brand new precious baby. Kendra says Airflow breast pumps gave me one free with insurance. So Kendra's recommended Aeroflow, that's spelled A-E-R-O flow. One word, breast pumps gave me a free one with insurance. Jen, I'm still thinking about you, honey. I'm waiting to see your comments. I know you probably have your hands full with the new baby. You might still be in the hospital, but so you take your time, and whenever you're ready, just tap in. Bree says to Kendra, that's who I got my breast pump through as well. So we have a couple moms here who went through Aeroflow for their breast pumps. OX Iris says, I nurse on demand, but I introduce bottles since the first week, 1 bottle a day, and he takes the bottles. I love that. That's wonderful advice. So if any ladies are exclusively breastfeeding, introducing 1 bottle a day, I think is excellent to get your baby accustomed to at least becoming familiar with the bottle. Should you have to stop breastfeeding for whatever reason, they'll be a little bit more prepared. Zara Uchi says, same. I am gaining weight too, and I don't know why. I didn't change my diet much, man. So I don't know. And I hate this for us because, you know, you're already under a lot of stress. And I don't think many of us are trying to gain weight after we have the baby, man. So what are you doing, Zara, to combat that? I know that I have changed my diet. So I know that in the beginning, like week 7, 8, and 9, I was eating pretty clean. And then the last couple of weeks, I think the entire mom experience has just been taking a toll on me, and I really haven't been able to maintain the diet that I had before. So what are you doing to kind of combat that weight gain? Hey, Angela, welcome in, Mama. She says, I have a question about natural breast milk. Shoot, Angelina, if I don't have the answer, I'll definitely call out your question so the mamas in the chat can give their feedback as well. Mama K says Aeroflow, Motif are 2 websites. So Aeroflow and Motif are websites. It's not a breast pump brand. So you have Aeroflow again and Motif, M-O-T-I-F, for the websites. I know you apply for pumps through insurance and just buy it if necessary. And I think if I remember correctly, even if I don't know if they reimburse you. Did anybody have experience where they had to pay out of pocket and maybe get reimbursed by their insurance company? And can just buy one too. But they can get expensive, man. Breast pumps are no joke. They can definitely get expensive. Jen Wave says, I'm tore up and hurting, but she's so cute. Hold on. But she's so cute. I'm going home today, man. I know you're in pain, babe, but I'm so happy for you. I know you're waiting a long time for her to get here. So I hate that you had to go through the emergency C-section. What happened? Was it an issue with her heart rate? Did something go wrong? Why did you have to go into emergency? Hey, Shauna. She says, I have a 3-week-old. How do you help with gas, really bad gas? I have a 3-week-old. I used the gripe water when I noticed my son was kind of really fussy and we were trying to figure out if it was colic. And again, any moms that want to tap in about gas, I just got the gripe water and I started giving them. I didn't do it regularly. I may have given him a few doses in all the time that we did it. And then I asked the doctor about colic. We also changed his formula. When we started putting him on formula, the first one that I bought was Enfamil. And then yes, Papa. The first one I bought was Enfamil, and then we switched him to Similac ProCare just to see if maybe it was the formula that may have been causing him some discomfort, because in the early days he did go through a phase where he was like crying and screaming, and we didn't know if it was a gas or colic issue. So and I know they do the exercises for the babies with gas, like the bicycle legs, and then you can stretch the legs, push them back, stretch the legs, push them back, to help them relieve some of that pressure. But if any moms want to tap in about what they did for really bad gas, and of course always check in with your pediatrician and let them know what's going on so that they can give proper medical advice. Shauna. Iris says, I got my breast pump through Aceleron through insurance, and they also approve free parts and bags. So another thing with breast pumps is having those milk bags, milk storage bags. And apparently Iris was able to get, see, I just got some gas. He just farted. Got some gas out of him. Aceleron provided her not only with the pump, but also the milk storage bags. Aceleron is spelled Acellleron for anybody on YouTube. Again, that's Acellleron, Aceleron. Kendra is saying to Shauna, I use gas drops and gripe water. They helped a lot. So absolutely with the gripe water. Moi says the bottle finished. Thank you, Moi. Jen says, I was 8 centimeters. Okay, Jen is letting us know what happened with her emergency C-section. I was 8 centimeters dilated and her heart rate was dropping. Yep, that'll do it. That'll do it. But I'm sad you're feeling, I know you're sore. You okay? I know you're sore, but I'm happy that you're going to be able to go home and rest and love on your baby, man. But 8 centimeters dilated is a while, so you are almost there. Whitney Girl Mama says, Mylicon gas drops are amazing. Mylicon, spelled Mylicon, for anybody on YouTube. Mylicon gas drops are being recommended. Hey, Cheryl, my baby's name is Mayak. Nisha, hey, Nisha, welcome, Mama. She says, hi, I'm new here. I just had my third baby preterm at 27 weeks, 6 days via emergency C-section. Congratulations, Nisha. So yeah, that's preemie. How are you doing, and how's baby? Did he or she have to stay in NICU? And are you guys home? Like, what's your situation? What's going on with you guys, and how are you feeling? You want to say hello? You want to say hi to the ladies? You say good morning. Some Baba. Jen says she would do it 100 times again. She is the cutest thing ever. Jen, what's baby girl's name? Congratulations again, man. It's so amazing, man. I think the pain and everything that we go through when we're going through labor, but it's when your baby gets here, it's just like, it's totally worth it, right? It's totally freaking worth it. Iris, thank you for the follow, Mama. Hey, Isha, how are you? Thank you for the follow. Jen says it was definitely scary and the anesthesia didn't hit yet. Oh my God. Kendra, hi, Mama. Kendra saying hi to Mayak. Dang, so the anesthesia, did you feel the pressure? I know a lot of moms talk about feeling the pressure when they go through C-section. What was it? Did you feel the pressure when you got, or did you actually feel? We have some moms too that also actually feel pain when they're having a C-section procedure done, and that's really, really scary. I can't imagine. Hey, me Jade, thank you so much, Mama. She said he's adorable. Hi, gorgeous. Thank you, honey. How are you? Nisha says her name is Brooklyn. Okay, Brooklyn. She is in the NICU doing great, breathing on her own. I had her Monday. Amazing, amazing. Had a little burp. All right, well, welcome, baby Brooklyn, man. That NICU is no joke, but I'm really happy to hear that she's breathing on her own. And I'm sorry that that has been your experience, man, but I'm glad that baby is getting the care that she needs and that she's growing and that she's, you know, she's doing well, because that's something difficult to go through, especially when you're in postpartum, not being able to connect with your baby the way that you may have expected while you were pregnant. So shout out to you and baby Brooklyn, and shout out to Jen Wave, who also just gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. Beasley says Camilla tummy. Okay, Camilla tummy is really good if your baby is 1 month or older. Camilla tummy, I'm assuming this is for the gas recommendation. Camilla spelled Camilla, tummy, okay? So we have baby Brooklyn and baby Charlotte. Oh, welcome, Charlotte. Welcome, mama. How is Charlotte doing, man? I know she's a cutie patootie. How much does she weigh? She said, I felt everything, man. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. Damn. Do we have any other moms in here who experienced a C-section and the anesthesia did not kick in or do what it was supposed to do? That's a terrible experience. It's traumatic. It's very traumatic. I could only imagine. Y'all, real quick, let me catch up on some of these comments on YouTube. Angelina, did you put your question in? Let me try to find. Tamila, hey mama, how are you? Angelina, I didn't see. Tamira also just had a baby, y'all. She's fresh out postpartum as well. So yes, Mama K is agreeing about the breast pumps. They are crazy expensive. Spectra at Target is almost $300, man. So if your insurance covers your breast pump, definitely go through your insurance, because it's no joke paying for these breast pumps. Houston 101 says, hi, I'm a first-time mom. I saw your channel and I'm in the hospital with preeclampsia with severe complications. What is the best breast pump for a first-time mom? Hi, Houston. Is it Huston? Huston 101. Congratulations on your baby. We're so sorry to hear about your complications with preeclampsia. I've heard of preeclampsia, and I'm not too familiar with it, but I've definitely heard other moms express that they've been dealing with that. So we've had a couple people recommend breast pumps on here. We have Spectra. Websites that were mentioned were Aeroflow and Motif. Baby Buddha has been mentioned in the past. I've used Aura Glow, and I think we had another mom also checking on here. I think you mentioned Aeroflow again as the website. So check out a couple of different websites. And then while you're in the hospital, if they have a lactation consultant, you might also touch base with them to see what resources they can give you, to maybe websites that you can look at, or if they have any information for you on how to get a breast pump through your insurance, or any other way that they might, recommend. We have another recommendation for Mylicon gas drops for Mama K. So Mylicon, again, is Mylicon. We've mentioned gripe water, Mylicon drops. Massage. So Mama K is saying that I love you massage. We talked a little bit earlier about doing like the little bicycle legs with the baby, but there's an I love you massage. She said it worked great for my daughter when she was gassy too. So Mom, if you want to look up the I love you massage. Thank you, Mama K. He is 12 weeks now, so right about 3 months. Yeah, T-Body. So we're struggling a little bit with his congestion, and I'm trying my best to handle it naturally. I don't know that we can give them very much suctioning and whatnot. It's hard. My 4-year-old is here, and I know she was a little handsy. She put her fingers in his mouth one time, and she always has a congestion. So I don't know that the congestion is avoidable for us right now, but I'm looking into different kinds of treatments. Another thing we talked about on the last live was creating a tent for the babies with a humidifier, just, putting up some sheets and creating an enclosed space so that they can breathe in some, like some Vicks vapor that you can put in the machine. Obviously, make sure that you find one that's safe for baby, but it is something that we're looking into. So thank you, T-Body. Tamila, hey mama. She says, good morning, everyone. Go lay the baby down. They are sleek and sleepy. Well, he actually just woke up, T-Body, and that's why I picked him up, because he needed to eat. But he's been napping this entire morning, but I appreciate your concern. Tamila said, how was your day? My day is going fine, man. You know, I was just touching base with you ladies, letting y'all know I had a rough night myself. Up every hour and 45 minutes, every 2 hours or so. I feel like my son is more, you know, like he's more on waking up more at night now than usual. And we had a couple moms check in. We have a mom who has a 6-month-old, a couple moms who are breastfeeding that are also experiencing the constant 2 hours that are breastfeeding on demand. So everybody having a similar but very unique experience all at the same time. Haitian Empress says she feeds on demand, and her baby number 6 was C-section. So big shout out to Haitian Empress, man, and all the mamas out there who have 3, 4, 5, 6 children. I always like to shout you moms out, because I think that's amazing, and it's not something that I think that I'm capable of, maintaining more than my 2 children. I think that I'm at my limit with 2, and my husband and I talked about this too. So I always like to, I am always in admiration of moms who are able to manage more children, because it's a gift, man, and it's hard work. The kids are doing good, Tamila. Thank you, Haitian Empress. Pharmacy for breast. And T-Body is recommend go to a pharmacy. So if you maybe check out your pharmacy and see what resources they offer, and if they also sell breast pumps. So we had Target mentioned on here, and we've had a pharmacy mentioned as well. Dollar Mac says, cute baby, actually gorgeous, handsome, beautiful baby. Thank you so much, Dollar Mac. I appreciate that. So again, Jen mentioned that she had her C-section and she felt everything. So I really hate that that happened to her, because a lot of times moms get these epidurals, myself included. My epidural also didn't stay through. I felt my labor pains as well when I was pushing. So C-section is insane, because they're cutting through layers and layers. So that is a terrible thing to experience. Carissa says, hey Mama K from YT just followed you both. So Mama K, Carissa is over here following you from TikTok. I love that. Jen Wave is saying congratulations to Nisha. So for anybody just joining, Jen Wave, Nisha, Tamila, all these mommies are just fresh out. Jen had a C-section. I don't know if Nisha also had a C-section. Her baby is in NICU, but she's doing really well. So we have a lot of moms going through some similar experiences here. And baby Brooklyn and baby Charlotte. So welcome to these baby girls. Nisha says, I'm home now. Hold on, y'all. I lost my place in the comments. Y'all bear with me. I'm home now. I was in the hospital a total of 10 days. Glad to be home. I felt everything. So both Nisha and Jen Wave had a similar experience with C-section. Both of them had failed anesthesia. 10 days in the hospital is no joke. I know you're happy to be at home and in your bed and in your own shower. I'm really sorry to hear about these experiences for you ladies, but y'all are amazing and babies are healthy. Or I know Brooklyn is still in the hospital, but getting healthy. Nisha says, thank you to Jen Wave. Carissa says, look up the I love you massager for gas too. So Mama K and Carissa have both mentioned the I love you massage for babies with gas, okay? My son is over here farting on me right now, so I might have to change his diaper in a second. Jen Wave's baby girl was 6 pounds, 10 ounces. Amazing, beautiful, beautiful. I love that. Baby Charlotte was 6 pounds, 10 ounces. Hey Esther, hey Mama, welcome in. Congratulations to the new mamas from Kendra. Kendra sending love. Nisha, she said she got a Spectra breast pump through her insurance. So she was able to get a Spectra. Rennie Remo, good morning. Indy, good morning. Thank you so much. Adior, Tanya, Dia, 4 months into postpartum and it's hitting me bad right now. It's been great until now. And that's something that we've also talked about too. Sometimes postpartum is so unpredictable. Some of us feel it right on, like within shortly after the baby is born. Some moms don't experience it until further down the line, like Adior. I've spoken to a mom who didn't experience it until 6 months out. So it definitely affects all of us differently, but I hope you're doing okay. What are you doing to kind of keep your head above water and to combat whatever you're feeling, Adior? Kendra also had a C-section. She didn't feel anything crazy, but the pressure from them pushing around was bad. And it's scary too, right? It's just like, I feel something going on, man. And it's just uncomfortable and unnerving, like what's going on with my body. I don't know what's going on, but I can feel it. So I can only imagine what you ladies experienced through that. Okay, I smell a poop diaper. So, but right now, like I was telling you guys, I went ahead and set myself up on the sofa today because I didn't want to keep having to step away from the camera every time I needed to do something with the baby. Y'all just bear with me while I change the diaper. Good morning, Esther. Yep, we got a big stinky poop right now. And what are y'all's experiences with wipes, right? So right now I have these Pampers ones. I find that Huggies have better texture. They're like a better quality wipe. And then I also find that they're a hassle sometimes to pull out of the... Am I the only mom who experiences frustration when the wipes... Oh shoot, I got y'all all in my baby butt. I'm sorry. That experiences frustration when y'all are trying to pull the wipes out of the pack and they're stuck together. Sorry about flashing y'all TikTok. I didn't even realize. That's my bad, man. We got a little stinky here. I think this is so crazy that I'm talking to y'all while I'm doing this because this is the first time I've experienced some firm stool from him. He was all liquid, and this is literally the first day that I'm seeing something firm, which is interesting because he's still just on liquid. So I wonder what that's about. You know what? I wonder if it's a part of the mucus, because I know babies will pass mucus from their congestion through their stool. So I wonder if that has something to do with it. Let's make sure he's nice and fresh here. I heard the most horrible story. One day I was scrolling on TikTok, and this mom, she was sharing her labor experience, and her daughter, she had a vaginal birth, and I think her daughter was stuck for some reason, and she was saying how the team eventually ended up just like yanking the baby, and she ripped 6 or 7 inches. Like she was like, it just went, she just felt her flesh just go. And they had to have a surgeon, the surgeon that was on staff, stop what he was doing and come in to stitch her. And she felt it, like her epidural didn't, had worn off or whatever the case was. It wasn't 100% there. But not only did she feel her rip, I think, like, I don't know if it was like from her bottom or whatever the case was, there was a big, she was like, you could still see the scar. And then they had to come in, and she was like, the stitching was like shoop, 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 shoop. Like he tried to stitch her as quickly as possible, and he apologized to her even. So there's so much that can happen, man, whether you're C-section or you're vaginal. It can be a really intense experience, for moms. And some of us have some really horrible, some horror stories from delivering. Let me just rinse my hands real quick, you guys. I'll be right back, okay? Sorry. Okay, hold on. Okay, thank you for your patience. But yeah, man, I call myself being prepared so that I wasn't getting up every freaking, every so often for diaper changes or whatever else I had going on with the baby and having to leave from in front of you guys. So, yes, Kendra was saying that the pressure from her C-section was really, really bad. Esther, good morning, Mama. Jenny Love says, cute baby. Thank you, honey. Thank you, loving my two. Carissa says, get the saline mist. It works every time for my baby girl. She's now 6 months. So I did, y'all. I don't want y'all to think that I'm out here super, you know, in the dark with the babies. I do put the saline mist and I do the snot sucking and all that good stuff. I don't really beat myself up about it because I do closely monitor him and I suction him so often, whether with the nose Frida or if I'm suctioning him myself. And after having gone through my experience with my daughter and how much she suffered from sinus infection and ear drainage and stuff like that, I really don't try to stress myself out about my son. I monitor him as closely as I can and I make adjustments where needed, but I don't want you guys to ever think that he's neglected or that I'm unaware of, you know, what's going on with his breathing or his congestion. You know, I do my very best to stay on top of it. I don't want you guys to worry. I know sometimes when we're doing these lives or, you know, we only catch snips of each other's lives, it can seem like maybe they're not getting the attention that they need to be, but I don't want you guys to worry about him. He's getting, he's okay. And if he wasn't, I would definitely make sure that he got the care that he needed, okay? Tatted, hey mama, she says the saline mist works for babies. Absolutely, I agree with you guys. I agree with you guys 100%. Kendra, saline mist did wonders for my girl. Everybody is shouting out this saline mist. I got y'all covered, okay? Boss lady, good morning, mama. Carissa says it really does work 100%. I give a spritz and I feel it don't work. So Sal says to Carissa, how long are you supposed to spray for? I give a spritz and I feel it doesn't work. On the box, these for nose Frida specifically, and you guys tap in on the different mists that you use, but this one says do 2 pumps in each nostril. Depending on what's going on with him, I may or may not do more. It just really depends on if it's, excuse me, if the mucus has dried, if the mucus is moist and I'm just trying to pull out, you know, what's moist, or if I'm really trying to break down any mucus that has already solidified in there. That kind of determines how much I'll spray personally. But you guys share what your experience with saline has been. Did anyone experience feet, ankle swollen after birth? Love in My 2 is asking about swollen feet. Yes, I did. I may have experienced swollen feet a little bit, like a couple of times towards the end of my pregnancy, and those were the days that I was really running around and doing a lot. But after my baby was born, I did experience that, and I think it's because your body has so much fluid in it, and it's spreading the fluid out to different parts of your body. So one bedroom model is about 90% done. So that's my understanding of it. Loving My 2 is that your body has so much fluid after you give birth, and it's just kind of spreading it out to wherever it goes. And eventually you will release all of that fluid through, you know, urinating and different things like that. Flo says, hey mamas, I'm 3 months postpartum. Congratulations, honey. So we have a couple of moms in here that are 3 months postpartum, myself included. Congratulations again, Flo. Hi, Papa. Mm-hmm. Are you talking? You want to say hello? You say you had a stinky booty? You had a little stinky booty? Hmm? You say good morning. He's looking at YouTube, y'all. Daphne says she's adorable. Thank you so much. She's a he, but thank you, Daphne. Good morning, Simone. Simone, last time I called you someone, man. I definitely read your name wrong. Good morning, Mama. Sal's poor baby, I know. Flo says, I pray for healing for the cutie. Thank you, Flo. Carissa says to Sal's, I always started with 1 to 3 seconds. With 1 to 3 seconds, it's really how long the baby will let you, because hold on, Carissa, I'm gonna look for the second part of your comment. I think it broke up. Okay, so she says, I started with 1 to 3 seconds. It's really how long the baby will allow you, because If they are crying, it won't get into their airways, but you can work it up to 3 minutes. Okay, so what am I missing here? Because I'm thinking you guys are talking about saline mist, like this little pumpable one, but maybe are you guys talking about something that you put into a machine? Am I missing something here? So I apologize if I am ignorant on the topic of saline. Taru, hi mama, thank you so much for the compliment. Alexandria, the silent observation when baby does that is so real. The silent observation when baby does that is so real. Hey Alexandra, how are you mama? Bree says, I'm strictly breastfeeding and potty training right now and it's hard. 1000%, man. Potty training is no joke. Y'all, I'm struggling to potty train right now. I need to get my daughter the washable underpants and stuff like that so she can get out of the habit of feeling the pull up. She's pretty good. She'll say when she has to poop, but potty training is definitely hard. So shout out to you, Bree, and all of the moms out here that are juggling a newborn and a toddler using the potty, because I know you're getting ran every which way handling them both. All right, y'all, let me pause on TikTok real quick and catch up on some of these YouTube comments. Ooh, I gotta read that. Hold on, let me find my place. But T-Body, I love the tip that you gave on the wipes. I'm gonna read it out in just a second. To the pharmacy, gorgeous, handsome, beautiful baby. Thank you, Dollar Mac. T-Body says, I have a Vicks vapor humidifier and it uses Vicks pads. I couldn't produce milk and I had my baby 2 months early and my baby stayed in NICU for a month with only low birth weight, 4 pounds and 3 ounces and 19 inches. Man, so shout out to T-Body. She's another mommy who had to put her baby in NICU and experienced an early birth. She's recommending the Vicks humidifier that uses the Vicks pads. And then she also had a delay in her milk production. Wildflower TK says, 2 was my limit as well. My oldest will be 15. We were talking about earlier having multiple children. What is it, Papa? What is it? Yes, I see you. We see you. Everybody sees you, okay? Everybody sees you. Yes. Okay, how do you want to sit, sir? So Wildflower is saying that her oldest is 15 and her youngest is 8. Especially as they get older. She said motherhood is hard, especially as they get older, man. So yeah, I hear those teen years are a struggle, man. And I guess being a mom is crazy because you'll hear women say it all the time, like it doesn't end. You know, it doesn't stop when they get out of diapers. It doesn't stop when they start school. It doesn't stop when they're teenagers. And it goes on and on and on. You know, even as adults, you have moms that are still checking in on their babies, man. So motherhood is definitely quite an experience. Huston says, what preeclampsia means? It's a condition in pregnancy where your blood pressure is too high and it can start affecting your organs like your kidneys and liver. I've been in the hospital since the 13th. Wow, man. Okay. Oh no, I know, that's so sad, huh, Papa? Man, so preeclampsia, for anybody who, like myself, wasn't really clear, it's where your blood pressure is too high and it can impact your organs. So Hassan has been in the hospital for almost 2 weeks at this point, dealing with that. So shout out to her for enduring through that, especially while, you know, pregnancy is stressful enough. So having a condition on top of that, I can only imagine the additional stress, man. T-Body says, I had my baby in 2017 and 2019 had to have a total hysterectomy at age 26. Wow. I'm 34 now and my daughter is now 8 years old and weighs 92 pounds and is 3 feet 9 inches. What? Does your daughter have any other condition? I know we had a mom on here mention she has an autistic child. My daughter has Down syndrome, so I know that that's gonna affect how she grows. But that's tiny for an 8-year-old. 3 feet 9 inches and 92 pounds. I think the weight is healthy, but the height is that normal height and size? But that's insane. Having a hysterectomy at 26, man, that's some serious business. How are you doing? And did that impact you in any way that you'd like to share with us? That's incredible. That's a very young age for that kind of procedure. Thank you, Kira. Welcome, Kira. How are you, honey? Tamila says, my girl's weight is 9 pounds and they are big. So Tamila had twins, right? Twins. So she had 9 pound. Baby was 9. Oh my God, a fly came in the house through this door. If it's one thing I hate, it's a freaking fly. Now he's exploring my home and I can't get up and go. And you know what I think about when a fly gets in my house? I'm like, damn, did I close the bathroom door? Because what if he gets in the bathroom and lands on my toothbrush? That's what I'm thinking, is this fly has just flown in through the patio door. Anyways, so Tamila had 9 pounder. We had Nisha had, I think Nisha's baby was 3 pounds. Her baby girl came really, really early. And then Jen had baby Charlotte at 6 pounds, 9 ounces. So shout out to all these mamas, man, having these beautiful babies and going through C-sections and going through hell, but having these beautiful babies that make it totally worth it, man. So shout out to all you ladies. Kyra says your baby is cute. Thank you, Kyra. 777, any plans to visit India? It's so funny that you asked that, because I don't know if this is like a weird comment that you're putting, but one of my girlfriends is hell-bent on going to Bali. She wants to go have some kind of crazy hippie experience out there. So that's something that actually came up in conversation a couple of times. Tamila says, yes, I am. All right, y'all. So this is the tip from T-Body about the wipes. I was griping about the wipes earlier and how hard it is sometimes to pull them out. She says, put a hair tie around the wipes. It will help them come out easier and one at a time. So I love that, y'all. So the tip is to put a hair tie around the package of the wipes to help them come out separately instead of being tied together. Hi, Papa. Limon. Little monster. Oh my God. Little monster. I have been calling you Limon for the longest time. This goddamn fly. Limonsta, I've been saying your name for the wrong way, but it's good to see you. Thank you so much for checking in with us. Joni. Welcome back, Joni. Good morning. Little Monster, it's Lil Monster, L-I-L Monster, but I've been saying that name wrong this whole time and you never corrected me, man. But she says, stay blessed, ladies. Can I get you something? Can I do something to entertain you? Yeah. Y'all, so he's in that phase where he's babbling. Hi, Papa. Yes, yeah. Where he's babbling, y'all, and I'm missing it, man. The freaking daycare ladies are telling me, you know, he's having full-blown conversations with them, and I'm missing out on that. And so that's really, really hard. I don't know if any other moms are having that experience where your baby is in daycare at this point in time at 3 months old, 2 months old, and you're missing all the little cute moments. T says, my name is pronounced T Booty. I apologize. Thank you so much for the correction, man. So it's T Booty Bama, y'all. So I apologize. I've been saying her name wrong. Thank you so much, Yacinda. Thank you for the compliment, okay? All right, let me tap in real quick with these TikTok comments, y'all. Thank you for your patience. Trying to make sure I read everybody's comment. And for anybody who's new here or anybody just joining, y'all, I really do my best to read every single comment and greet every single person that comes in. So hello, fellow strangers. Hi, Zol. Welcome in. So if I am a little bit delayed in getting to comments and responding, it's just because I try to read every single one, okay? So thank you guys for your patience. Yes, Papa? What's going on? And then, of course, I have my little one who also wants some attention. Yes? Okay, let me see if I can get to some of these. Sheldon, welcome, Sheldon. Uy, ay, uy, ay. Okay, let's see if he'll give me 2 minutes so I can catch up on these comments. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Esther says, good morning. Says, good morning, Mama. I know I said hello earlier, but I apologize for just getting around to this comment. Jenny Gal, thank you so much. Yeah, so y'all break down this saline mist for me, man, because again, I'm thinking it's the handheld one that you pumped, but for some reason, I feel like you guys are talking about something that you put in a machine. Boss lady, hey mama, welcome. We talked about the swollen ankles. Thank you, Daphne. Good morning. Sal says, okay, I read all of these. Breastfeeding. Potty training. We were talking to Bria about potty training and breastfeeding simultaneously. Tara says there's an echo. Are you guys still experiencing an echo? Sal says if they are crying, and we'll get into their airways. Okay, so the recommendation on the saline mist is the longer the better, from Sal's to Carissa. Yadira says C-sections are horrible, and she said that in capital letters. I grieved my second birth so much and felt like my body failed me, man. And that's some real stuff, man. Having grief for your experience during labor and delivery, man. And nobody, it's like nobody knows, right? Like nobody knows what you're experiencing individually and as a person, and it can be really, really sad when you're like, damn, man, I really had to go through that. My body really had to go through that. It was so traumatic, it was so painful, it was so terrible. And even when you're relating to other moms, like sometimes I think it's okay for us to give ourselves a moment to say, like, yes, other moms experience this. Collectively as women, we go through motherhood, we go through the pain of labor and birth and delivery, but it's like, damn, like this experience was my experience, and it was really horrible and painful, whether it's C-section or vaginal or whatever the case may be. So thank you so much for sharing that, Yadira, and I'm so sorry that was your experience, man. She said, I felt like my body failed me. And then guilt, you know, some of us moms, we want to have a natural birth and we have to do a C-section, and it's like, I thought my body was supposed to know what to do. I thought my body was supposed to kick into gear and, you know, do what it needed to do to get this baby out. And then you have to go through a C-section. You have to go through the healing of a C-section. So the entire process is just like layered. Simone, my babies are 3 months and 4 years old. Carissa, I'm not sure what YW means. Oh, you're welcome. Lord, I'm slow. Okay. Makira says the baby. Thank you, Makira. Y'all, I lost my place in the comments. Bear with me 1 second. V, the baby's name is Mayak. So Sal says to Elastasia, me too, no matter what I do, it's not the same. I feel lost. Lila, welcome. Lila and Mommy, how are you, honey? Good to see you again. Thank you for the heart, babe. Oh my God, so Nisha, okay, baby Brooklyn is actually 2 pounds and 3.3 ounces. That is a tiny, tiny baby. What, Papa? What is it? What is it? So for anybody just joining, we have a few moms that literally just gave birth. Nisha, Genwave, Tamila, all of these mommies just gave birth. Nisha's baby was born, I think you said 27 weeks, and she's been in NICU trying to get her weight up. She's now breathing on her own, but she was born at 2 pounds and 3 ounces. That's absolutely incredible, man. That's a tiny baby right there. Are you okay? Yeah. Can you tell me how you feeling? Can you tell Mommy how you feel? So big shout out to baby Brooklyn. She's in there in NICU right now. Hi, Lila Mommy. Lila Mommy says Grand Rising. Bree says rate your epidural 1 to 10. So I got my epidural at about 6 centimeters, and this is how I know my labor was intense, because I could feel my contractions. I knew when I was having contractions, even with the epidural. While I was having contractions, I'm going to give the epidural a 10, because in comparison to my labor without the epidural, I was not going to make it, y'all. But I did feel the pushing, like I felt when the doctor was massaging where my tears were. I actually told, I was like, hey, can you move your hand? Because I could feel all that stuff, even with the epidural. So during the labor process, I'll give it a 10. And then during the birthing process, like a 7 or an 8. You know, I felt it, which is fine. It was way less than what it would have been without it. So, but what are you guys' experience? Thank you so much for asking that question. I love that. Rate your labor, rate your epidural 1 through 10. So we've had a few moms tap in and share that the C-section, like they felt it. You know what I mean? Jen, she mentioned that she felt her C-section. I think, hold on, Papa, what is it? What can I do for you, sir? What can I do? How can I be of assistance? Would you like to engage with the chat? Is that what's happening right now? Anastasia says, I'm 11 weeks postpartum and I feel so horrible. I'm with the baby most of the time and it's draining me. 1000%, Anastasia. She's talking to Sal's in this comment. But absolutely, man. And that's another thing we've talked about before. Like, being postpartum and being home with your baby, while it's a beautiful experience and we all want to be able to have that one-on-one time and be home, it's so freaking, like, you can get so lonely. It's exhausting. It's like day in, day out, wake up, change diapers, burp. And it can, you know, it puts you in this little box, in this little world that can be really, really, it can be hard, especially if you don't have, if you're not getting a lot of adult contact and communication, if you don't have a support system, if you have other children that you need to take care of while you're taking care of your newborn. It's not just, oh, stay at home and lay on the couch and lay with the baby. That's not it. It's not always this really chill, relaxing experience at all. And I think that some people have that idea that that's what's happening when you're postpartum, whether you're 2 weeks, 11 weeks, whatever the case is. It can really be difficult. Thank you, Chrissy. Elastasia says she had a traumatic birth experience. What was your birth experience, Elastasia? And this is something that's so common with moms, man. And if you're coming out of a traumatic birth experience, whether you had a vaginal or C-section delivery, and you don't have a support system that's there to kind of allow you to feel, like that's allowing you to process that experience, that's allowing you to be like, man, that was really, really hard. If they're not there reassuring you, like, yes, that was hard, and holding your hand and allowing you to grieve, like one of the moms, I apologize, I forgot your name, but she mentioned that, you know, she grieved after having to have a C-section delivery. She grieved because she felt like her body failed you. And some of these experiences are ones that don't get talked about often. So I love that you ladies are bringing that stuff to the light right now. The trauma that goes along with labor and delivery, and the grief that you feel for yourself and your body. You know what I mean? Hey, Kay. She says, how are you doing this morning? And I hope you have a good day. Thank you so much, Kay. We're doing all right, man. I can't complain. Sal says to Anastasia, me too. At 5 months postpartum, it truly does take a village, and I hope you feel better soon. Absolutely. Kay says, move the camera. Which way you want me to move it? Can y'all see? Maybe I should. Should I do it like that? Oh, snap. Okay, these are the, these comments are old. I'm really moving slow right here. She says, change the baby off camera. Sorry about that, you guys. That was an accident, Tiny. I don't know if you're still in the chat. I didn't realize that the phone was that low. So I appreciate you guys being patient with me. Simone says hugs and Millie Moon. I don't know what Millie Moon is. So you can still, oh shoot. Sorry, Sals. You guys, I really had no idea. Just for a disclaimer, I seriously did not know. I thought that I moved the phone But I apologize again for the flashing during the diaper change. I really didn't know. I thought that I had moved the angle of the camera properly, but I guess I didn't. So I apologize. Y'all gotta remember, I can't hear the comments are going on the screen, so y'all are telling me this, and I apologize. I'm not able to look at the screen and look at the baby at the same time, you guys. So human flaw, be gentle with me, y'all. Bust the Hustler, Kenitra moves. Oh my God. Huggies do come out a lot of the time one-handed. Pampers does that. Winnie Ross. Call a blowout. Okay, just act like y'all don't make a big deal, please. He's a baby. Thank you, Kay. Thank you for the support, man. Damn, you guys, y'all eating me up in these comments over this diaper change. Thank you, Sal's. Channel K says, just got here, by the way. Chanel K, sorry that was your intro to the channel, to the chat here. I apologize. Okay, Anastasia says to Sal's, I'm so far away from home, just me and hubby here in Canada. No friends too, hubby works too. That's really hard, man, when you're out in another, I don't know if you guys are from Canada originally. It sounds like y'all went up there for your husband's job, but it can be really hard when you don't have a village, when you don't have immediate family or close friends nearby, people that you trust to have around you in this really vulnerable time in your life. Vulnerable for you and for the baby, right? Because you don't want to just have any person around your baby. Can I have a minute? Yeah. Can I have a minute? Sal says, what the F? Scary. Oh my gosh. Hey, Shady Cindy. Thank you, Dossie. Caitlin, thank you for the follow. Okay, you had a bottle. Has it been? How long has it been since you had that bottle? I don't think you need a bottle. I don't think you need a bottle, Papa. You want to stand up? My phone is whipping. Let me bounce you, okay? All right, y'all. I'm a little off on the comments right now. I can't scroll and bounce them at the same time, so y'all just bear with me while I catch up. But just to recap some of the things that we talked about, you know, we've talked about moms in here. We have some moms with special needs baby. We've had some autistic moms check in. We have moms who have had gaps in between having their babies, 7-year gaps. We had a mom check in. She has a 15-year-old and an 8-year-old saying, you know, her limit is at 2 children. And then we have other moms that are checking in that have 5 or 6 kids, which is always amazing to me, mothers being able to juggle multiple children, because you're raising a whole personality and you have so many of them in your household at one time. So that always astonishes me. We have moms who have checked in. For anybody just joining us, we've had moms who have checked in about their birthing experience, whether vaginal or C-section. We've had moms whose epidural wore off or their anesthesia wore off during their C-section procedure, and so they felt it. We have moms who are grieving the process of having to go through a C-section because you feel like your body didn't do what it was supposed to do in that moment. We've talked about breast pumps, different brand types. We've talked about feeding on demand and the impact that can have on your day-to-day. We have some moms in here that are juggling not just breastfeeding their newborn, but also potty training their toddler and how difficult that can be. We've talked about exhaustion a little bit at the beginning of the conversation. We've talked about, you know, some moms going through postpartum. We had a mom who expressed that she's 11 weeks out and she's just starting to feel the effects of postpartum. Some women feel it immediately, and then some women experience it with a delay. So a lot of different experiences. We have a mom in here with preeclampsia, which is high blood pressure. A lot of different experiences for all of us across the board. And it's crazy that we're all experiencing motherhood, postpartum, having a baby, and having such different experiences. We have some mommies in here whose babies are in NICU. Baby Charlotte was healthy at 6 pounds, and then we have little baby Brooklyn, who's born at 2 pounds and 3 ounces. So a lot of different experiences, man. Motherhood is definitely not it's a spectrum of different experiences. It's not just one one experience for all of us. We're not all experiencing the same kind of labor or birthing experiences. We're all having different postpartum experiences, breastfeeding experiences. So definitely a lot going on in the mom community when it comes to pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. Are you calm enough for me to read? Can I read the screen now? Huh, Papa? Hmm? Can I read? I got fussed at for accidentally exposing his little bottom, so feedback received, you guys. All right, y'all. Thank you for the compliments for baby. Cassie, hey, how's it going? Carissa says, and you shouldn't. This mom life is a journey every day. Shoot, every minute. 1000%, man. It's like it's always changing. Baby is changing. You're changing. You're learning. They're growing. So it's always changing minute to minute. Minute to minute. Are you okay? Yeah. Are you okay, Papa? You want to stand up? So let's try to stand up for a little while. Exercise those legs. Yes, Papa. Yes, Papa. I have my door open, you guys, so if you're hearing any noise, that's the cars outside. Thank you, Meet Jade. Meet Jade said it seems like he's in perfect care. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. And you guys, another thing that's difficult to juggle, and I'm sure a lot of moms can attest to this, is a lot of us try to do content creation when we're home with our young children and going through postpartum. And it's not an easy thing to juggle the unexpected things with your kids. Yes, I hear you and I see you. I see you, Papa. I have to clean your nose. All right, I'm done. I'm done, Papa. Yes, Papa, I see you. Real quick while he's whining, you guys. There is a doctor or a couple of different specialists online if anybody is kind of trying to learn their baby, and they will break down what different cries mean. Like they'll break down if the baby is crying like nah nah, or the baby is like wah wah, if they're crying because they're sleepy or if they're crying because they're hungry. People actually specialize in that type of work. So if you're a mom who doesn't know what's going on with your baby, or you're trying to understand your baby, there are people out there who specialize in that kind of work, and you can find them on TikTok, on YouTube, and become a little bit more in tune with what's going on with your little one. I have an eyelash in my eye, y'all. So he's sleepy. I just saw a yawn. I'm gonna give him this bottle and see if he dozes off. I use the one that has the piece that goes over their face. It works better with little babies. So Carissa is saying that for this, I'm assuming you're talking about the saline mist solution, that she uses the one that has the piece that goes over the baby's face. She finds that it works better for little babies. The inhaler I find better for 6 months plus, the Mist Boogie brand, okay? So Carissa is suggesting the Mist Boogie brand that comes with the face covering. I forgot what that thing is called. Like the mask, the oxygen mask. Amina, thank you so much. Carissa says, look up Boogie brand with mist. Look, he over here falling asleep, y'all. Look up Boogie brand with mist inhaler. And then Sal says, I thought we were talking about the saline mist too. Are we not? So apparently there's two different kinds, right? So you have the pumped The pumped miss. So Mr. Man was definitely sleepy, just to go off on in a different direction. That was a sleepy cry, not a hungry cry. So I'm gonna put this little bottle to the side. I might need to refrigerate it. I don't know how long he's gonna be down for. Carissa says, Frida has one too. Dodo, Papa? Dodo? Mm-hmm. No, don't wake back up. Go to sleep. It's okay. Okay, you can have your bottle. That's fine. I'm coming. All right, Papa. So yes, Frida baby has one too. She says yes, the miss. Amina says he looks just like you. Thank you, Amina. Saya, hi Saya. Crystal, thank you, Crystal. True Princess, if you're still in here, shalom, sis. Datoria says, is he on a schedule? And if so, how often? I'm assuming you're asking, Datoria. Probably every couple of hours or so. Right now, he had a bottle probably about an hour ago, but he's sleepy. So he may just be wanting it to lull himself to sleep. So real quick, I have a comment here from McKenna Morris. She says, I'm 11 months postpartum and I'm starting to feel so much better. I totally understand. For months, I went through rage and depression and anxiety attacks. Being a mom definitely isn't sunshine and rainbows. And I love that. And I think every mother's experience is different, right? We have moms who, I saw a post one time and the mom was like, I don't understand how you guys don't love being a mother. And then, you know, you have other moms that come on there and they express how difficult it is. It's everybody's experience is different, y'all. Like everybody has different support systems. Everybody is at somewhere different financially. Everybody's situation is different, whether or not they have to go back to work, whether they can be with their kids, if it's their only baby, if it's their second baby, if it's their sixth or seventh baby, everything is very different. So the motherhood experience is going to vary person to person, but I love that you're out of that depression state and that rage state, which is really, really real. I think we've had a few moms mention on here that postpartum rage. I myself experienced it, and what triggered it for me was the sleep deprivation and just feeling like, how the heck am I supposed to function if I can't even get 2 hours of consecutive sleep, right? So that was the most frustrating part for me. I've adjusted at this point. I'm about 3 months in, but the sleep deprivation was the hardest part, or is the hardest part for me personally. Okay, McKenna, I read your comment because you're right at the top here and in my face, so I was able to get to it quickly. I'm not gonna skip anybody on YouTube, you guys. Anything that I missed, I'm gonna go back to. See y'all here. T-Booty. Okay, so T-Booty says, no other conditions. I'm 5'7", and I'm 5'7", and she is 2, and the baby is to her breast line, so maybe a little taller. And yes, in all, I had 5 reproductive surgeries and still dealing with menopause and pelvic inflammation really, really bad. So T-Booty had shared with us earlier that she underwent a hysterectomy really early in her life at, I think she said 26 years old. She's now 34. She has a baby girl. And she shared a little bit of detail about her little girl. But she's experiencing menopause. And that's another thing. Some women also experience menopause in their 30s, some women in their 40s, some women in their 50s. That's another thing, another change that your body is going through. Hormone changes and diet changes and the way that your body sweats, the way that you just function differently, right? Your body, the foods that you eat have a different effect on you when you're going through menopause. So she's dealing with a lot of pelvic inflammation. I am not an expert on anything that has to do with a hysterectomy. I do know that turmeric is recommended for inflammation. T-Booty, so if you want to look into that to see if maybe taking some turmeric tablets to help with inflammation in your body might, if that helps you at all, if you want to check in, with your doctor, or even just do some research on your own to see if that might alleviate some of what you're experiencing. Joni says, my 4-year-old grandson just looked at this live and says, I want to go see them. Kaden loves to visit. We are in Maryland. So we got a family checking in. Joni checking in from Maryland with her grandbaby. And he says he wants to come visit us. So that's amazing. Love that. Hey, Kaden. Okay, Papa is falling asleep. to set him on the couch. Y'all give me 2 seconds, please. So yes, checking in with Kaden and Jody from Maryland. You know, you gotta watch to see if they really fall asleep. They tricking me and stuff. Sophia says, Bubba is so cute. My daughter Scarlett is 9 weeks old. Your videos gave me inspiration when I am exhausted. If you could do it, so can I. Lots of love from Australia. So we have Sophia checking in with baby 9 weeks old. Her daughter Scarlett is 9 weeks old, and they're checking in from Australia. I love that. We had, I think another mom, Charlotte W. She also checked in from Australia. So thank you so much for being with us, Sophia. That's amazing. Sophia has a 9-week-old baby. We also have a couple other ladies in here who have just given birth and also have young babies. So shout out to all you mamas. And I'm so glad that the videos were helpful to you, man. Like, it's not hard. It's not easy juggling it all. And you know what? I think that my experience in life has been that everybody's different, right? Everybody has different influence from their moms or grandmothers or different people in their life that show them how to navigate different chapters. And motherhood was something that I feel like, you know, you don't get a playbook on it. You don't get an instruction manual. And so I really do hope that some of the videos do help other moms that feel like, damn, like how do I keep my space tidy, or how do I handle my toddler that needs attention with the babies. I hope that it is comforting to see other moms are out here. Moms like myself are also out here juggling and trying to figure it out, and it's hard for all of us, and it is doable. We can survive it and get through it and be productive and face all the challenges that come along with motherhood. Nasha says, I'm scared to give birth. My due date is August 12th. Hi, Nasha. Congratulations. So Nasha is, I think you're still in your first trimester. She's due in August. And it's scary, man. You know, you get a lot of thoughts when you're pregnant. You don't know what to expect. You're nervous. A lot of thoughts going through your head. But what I would say is just, you know, keep yourself informed. Do as much research as you can. Look into a birthing plan. Look into exercises to prepare your body for the experience. And fill your mind with positivity, if that takes listening to an audiobook or positive affirmations, whatever you need to do to make sure that you're keeping the stress levels low in your in your body and keeping your mental state healthy. Pat him on the back to help. T Booties told me to pat the baby on the back to help. Y'all, I think I'm delayed on these comments, y'all. So if I'm just catching up, y'all bear with me. Noelle Rose, welcome. Quest of Quincy says, you're amazing. Please be gentle with yourself. Thank you so much, Quest of Quincy. I appreciate the encouragement. Bonnie, hey, Bonnie. Huston says, I'm getting ready to head into my labor process. They have to take the baby out. The preeclampsia is making me sick. So Huston was checking in with us. She was in the hospital with preeclampsia. It looks like she's going into labor. I'm getting ready to head into my labor process. Wow. So sending you a lot of love and support, Huston. Let us know how you're doing. Oh my God, that's it always trips me out, man, that we have moms in here that are actively in labor, that are in the hospital, that are going through this experience and sharing that with us. So sending you a lot of love and support from me and the other moms that are on here, Huston, and wishing you and baby a healthy delivery process. Tap in whenever you're free and let us know how you're doing. Obviously right now, focus on yourself and your baby. Quest of Quincy, my family is from South and Central America, Guyana, and Belize. All right, so let me read some of these TikTok comments. Again, you guys, I apologize for the delay. Nova K, how are you, mama? He is 12 weeks. T-Baby says, oh my gosh, I washed my hands 100 times. Can I hold the baby? Flo, thank you so much for the follow. The Prime, Sit the Scissor. I always struggle with your name, but I always see it. Hey, mama, she says, one of the dopest moms. Good morning, God. Thank you so much. I appreciate the compliment and the encouragement. The Prime, thank you so much. So Flo says, so cute. The Hoysons say, beautiful family. Did you vaccinate him? I did get all of the vaccinations for my son, and also while I was pregnant. I didn't want to when I went in for my my checkups, I was always a little bit skeptical about doing it, but I didn't want to take any chances, man. I didn't want to take any chances on him getting RSV or the whooping cough or flu or anything like that. So I got vaccinated while I was pregnant, and then he had all of his vaccinations after he was born. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a holistic medicine person, so I didn't want to take any chances with my son. Sydney, thank you so much, Sydney the doll. T Baby says, hey, Jordan, she says, stop, she's only 2 apples tall. Hey, Jordan, she's only 2 apples tall. What's that? Whose baby are you referring to? We had a couple moms in here share their baby's height. Ruby, hey, Ruby. She says, oh my God, I wash my hands. Can I hold him? Hey, Laura. Laura says, hi, I'm deaf. You know, I need to learn how to do sign language. I think that's an excellent skill to have. So, hi, Laura. T-Baby says he wants to read the comment. Esther, thank you for confirming about the echo. And I lost my place, y'all. Let me scroll and find it. Bear with me 1 second. Santana, I see your comment, honey. Let me just, I'll read it all out. Miss Daly, I see you in here. Hey, mama. Let me just get to everybody in order. I apologize. Damn, y'all, it's a lot of comments. Okay, you guys, I am gonna try to speed through these so we can catch up to real time. We have quite a few comments to get through. And again, I do like to read every single comment and acknowledge every single person that comes through. Nini, I'm gonna pause at Nini. She is also in labor right now. She's 5 centimeters and her water just broke. So we have Nini and we have Huston that are currently in labor and in the hospital, man. So shout out to these mamas. Okay, Chiquita, he's 3 months old. Hi, Chiquita. Laura, I'm well. Miss Daly, hey, mama. Miss Daly says, happy Saturday to everyone. Jalen, thank you so much. Alexandra says, good luck and congratulations to Nini. So love in the chat to you, Nini, for your labor and delivery experience. She says, Nini says her son is being stubborn. She says, thank you to Alexandra. Speak says, this is why I love being an on-call nanny. I'm currently working on becoming a doula. So shout out to Speak. She's getting that training to becoming a doula. I love that for you. Miss Daly says, yes, the monotony of being a stay-at-home mom can definitely do a number on one's mental health. We tapped in about how difficult it can be going through the same thing over and over and over again every single day while you're postpartum with your baby, and how hard it can be in that space, and it can feel dark sometimes. Miss Daly is shouting you out, Nini. She says, have a smooth labor and delivery. Baby girl is with her dad right now, Miss Daly. Esme says, yes, my C-section was so traumatizing. So we had a couple of moms check in today about their C-section experience. My mouth is dry, y'all. Hold on. A couple mamas checking about their C-section experience, sharing that it has been traumatizing. Absolutely, Esme. Alexandra says, my daughter got induced and labored for 40 hours. So Alexandra shouting out Nini, who said her son was being difficult. Alexandra labored for 40 hours. That's wild. Miss Daly says, yes, I can see. Welcome to Capacity says, hi, doll baby. Hi, welcome to Capacity. Danielle Shantaka says, Daryl with heart eyes. In-house Grace says, what a beautiful baby. Thank you so much. Kay says, no, mama, I was telling you to move the camera when you were changing the baby. I know, Kay. I am delayed in these comments, you guys. I'm trying to catch up with them. I apologize. Imani says, ready for the newborn smell. Welcome to Capacity. It says, Millie Moon is a diaper brand. Okay, Millie Moon was mentioned earlier in the chat, and it's a diaper brand for anyone who's interested. Chantel says, oh, baby is so cute. She is 4 months postpartum. Congrats to you, Chantel. And she's saying, she says to Nini, I wish that was me. Oh no, welcome to Capacity, said to Nini, I wish that was me. M Key says your baby is so happy. If I'm ever blessed to have babies, I want to be like you. Thank you. Thank you for the encouragement. Alexandra says, I love Millie Moon or bamboo organic diapers. Okay, we have organic diapers as an option. Miss Petty T, hey mama. Welcome. Kenitria, how are you, honey? Guardianship, thank you so much for the follow. First time mommy, thank you for the follow. She says, I felt it with a delay. Or I think you're talking about the epidural, man. My baby is 2 months. Her baby is 2 months. So we have another mommy in here that baby is 2 months. We had a mom check in from YouTube whose baby is 9 weeks old. Got a lot of little ones in here. Glow Lab, hey mama. Desiree, baby is 3 months. Nani, thank you so much. First time mommy, she says, my baby has that cough and congestion. So what we've been talking about for a lot in the chat is saline. The ladies have brought out, there was one called Boogie Bliss, Mom Boogie Bliss. I know one of the moms had mentioned, I think it was Carissa that talked about Boogie Bliss. So if that's something that you want to look into for congestion. We also had moms check in about the Vicks Vapor Rub humidifier for congestion. Nani says, I miss my girls when they were babies. First time mommy says, no fever though, so they gave me nose drops. Okay, no fever is great. Ernie Murphy, he's 3 months. How are you, Ernie? And first time mommy says her baby had his shots yesterday, man. The shots can be heartbreaking, man. The last time my son got his vaccinations, that freaking nurse stuck him so hard. I was so irritated. Tamisha Busby says, he's talking up a storm. He's talking a lot more now, you guys. And I was telling y'all earlier, I feel so sad sometimes. I go pick him up from daycare and the daycare ladies are sharing with me. And you guys, I'm tapping in from TikTok and YouTube, so I apologize if I'm not looking directly at the camera as I'm speaking. But I'm like, dang, you know, the daycare ladies are getting all the love and getting all the precious moments, man. So I see the user with the flowers and the star for the name. Tamisha Cudio says, rub some warm ointment on his chest. I don't know if he's old enough because of the chemicals though. So Codio is saying to rub warm ointment. I'm guessing you mean Vicks. If anybody does have an older child who you can use Vicks with, warm Vicks sounds like a good idea, to be honest with you. So Nani says, you can't have a schedule when you have young kids. It's definitely unpredictable, man. What? So first time mommy says, I was on live the other day feeding my baby and someone told him to choke, you guys. Y'all be kind in these comments, man. That's wild. I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. 3 months. Kodia says he's a blessing for real. So precious. Nani, thank you for the follow. Let me catch up on some of these YouTube comments, you guys. I apologize. So last comment was Huston telling us that she's in labor. So we have 2 mommies that are in labor right now. Elizabeth says she's 35 weeks right now, but I've never been more than 37 weeks pregnant. So I imagine that you're expecting to have your baby very soon. Shout out to you. Congratulations to you. I hope you're doing well in your 3rd trimester and wishing you a healthy delivery and healthy baby. Kendra says she uses Pampers and then Jello Gello. I'm not really sure if you're being inappropriate, okay? So I'm just gonna remove your comment. First time mommy says, I have saline drops from the doctor. So we have some prescribed saline drops. Dollface, thank you so much, Dollface. The Call Me Beauty, thank you so much, mama. Baby girl, hey, welcome in. She says she misses her babies being so small. Chiquita, thank you for the follow. So first time mommy, her baby is doing 3 hours, sometimes 4, I'm guessing in between feedings or for naps. That's a good amount of time, man. If you're taking a 3 or 4 hour nap or sleeping through 3 or 4 hours, I hope that you're able to get some rest in some of those pockets, man. Baby girl says, me too. And I had my babies back to back. SR, thank you for the follow. Baby girl saying, yes, some people have a village and some don't, man. First time mommy says she wishes she had a better support system. Support systems definitely make a difference in this process, you guys, 1000%. Cindy, he's drinking, so it's 3 ounces of water, Cindy, but once I add the formula, it kind of comes up closer to 4 ounces. First time mommy says she wishes she chose a better dad. And you know, it's so important for us, you guys, to be really sensitive to people's situations. I know as women sometimes we get really we feel triggered when we see other women going through certain situations, and we think like, where's the father, where's the dad, what's the situation? Or you even have moms, you have people who comment and say, you know, you shouldn't have laid down if you weren't ready to have kids, or you shouldn't have decided to be a parent. But you really never know what a person's background is and what happened in their life, or what motivated them to pick the person that they picked, or what put them in the situation to get pregnant. There are some people who have experienced some really some real horrors in their lives that led them to be pregnant, whether that things that happened to them in their childhood, whatever programmed them to have bad decisions. It's not just one thing that causes a person to be in a situation where they don't have support from their partner. So I just want to encourage you guys to be really sensitive when you're thinking about when you're forming a thought or an opinion about a mother who may not seem to have a support system, whether that's from her family or from the child's father, whatever the case may be. Miss Daly says, so true. Also, some women aren't always truthful about their experience for fear of backlash. That's so true, man. And it's wild, because even though we're all moms, even though we're all women, even though we're all going through this pregnancy, postpartum, labor, delivery process, sometimes we are afraid to share what our experiences are, because you don't want to be judged. You don't want someone to have a negative opinion about your experience, and you don't necessarily feel safe sharing what your experience has been. So thank you, Ms. Daly, for mentioning that. JK, thank you so much, JK. Baby girl says to first time mommy, we live and we learn. Give yourself some grace and stay strong, queen. Absolutely, man. Life is just, every day you're learning something new about yourself, your kids, the people in your life. 1000%. Hey, Mio. Mio says, I miss my nephew being so small. So I have him sleeping, for anybody who is concerned. I know we've expressed a lot of concern about his congestion. He's sleeping at an angle, and I do try to keep his head elevated with the congestion, okay? I'm just looking over, checking on him. So Miss Daly says, I often see comments from child-free people shaming mothers for saying they aren't enjoying life, etc. And that's another thing, man. So you can be somebody who is child-free and really think you know it all, and that you can avoid every single situation in life. And sometimes it's not until you yourself are in that situation that you can really understand the point of view of the mom who is sharing her experience. So some of us do have the wisdom. You know, some of us have the wisdom to look at somebody with a kid and say, hey, I don't want that for myself. I see how difficult it is for you, or I see what your experience has been and I don't want it. And that's kind of taking it humbly. You know, I'm coming from a humble point as someone who's child-free, and seeing what your experience is and saying for myself, I don't want that, you know, respectfully. But then you do have some people who come in with an arrogant kind of vibe, and they really just don't know, or don't take the time to really consider what that mom is going through, because their experience is limited, right? First time mommy says to baby girl, thanks, and yes, as long as he has me, that's fine. Just feel bad. So first time mommy and baby girl are talking about the fathers not being supportive. And then she says she feels bad that dad isn't involved, but it's okay. He don't need him. So it's hard, y'all. It's really hard. It's really hard to take on that load of raising a child by yourself. It's not an easy thing, man. So shout out to the moms that are out here doing it. Baby girl says yes to Miss Daly. She says, yes, the world is very judgmental, 100%, you guys. And especially with the internet now, you know, everybody has a platform to share what their opinion is, whether that opinion is negative or offensive, whatever it is. People can just come on here and say and do whatever with no regard for what their words or how their words are impacting the person that they're speaking to. Miss Daly says she has to head out. But today's conversation was good as always. Have a great day, everyone. Okay, Miss Daly, we'll see you later. Miss Daly always checks in, so she's the bomb. Baby girl is telling first time mommy that as long as baby has you and to put that man on child support. So I will stay in a neutral corner on that. Baby girl says, I've been dealing with bad postpartum hair loss. We've had a few moms check in and in other lives sharing that they've experienced hair loss. So the only thing that I could recommend, I know if you guys are still taking your prenatal, you know, even your doctor will tell you, especially if you're breastfeeding, to continue taking your prenatal. And depending on which one you're taking, a lot of them have biotin in it, and biotin supports hair and nail growth. So that might be something that you look into, and it may just be a part of the stress. It may just be your body adjusting. I'm not an expert on the hair loss, but I know that biotin does promote hair, skin, and nails, so you might look into that. Joni says, let's always try to be Joni says, let's always try to be a silver lining and support people where they are not a cloud. Let's always try to be a silver lining and support people where they are not a cloud. So yeah, man, definitely always want to give support in the mom and postpartum community, because it's such a vulnerable state to be in, right? Like, you're already dealing with so much emotionally and mentally and physically, and then just to have whatever negativity or from a stranger or whatever the case is. So if you're able to support another mom, whether it's even if it's just over the internet, like right here, we have an opportunity to kind of build each other up and give each other support. While we have moms that are actively, can you imagine you're actively in labor and you're sharing something so personal online saying, hey, I'm going into labor, and somebody responds back with something nasty, and it's just like, dang, you know, this person is probably in one of the most vulnerable positions she's going to be in her life, and she's allowing herself to share that with you and not getting some support just on a, like, decency as a human being, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be because you care about that person or you know that person, but just being another human being, you can know what to say and what not to say, and what's appropriate and what isn't. So Joni is saying, she said, I'm trying to say, don't be a cloud on people's lives, be a silver lining. So yeah, I love that, man. Definitely don't come in and try to be a damper or cast a shadow or put anybody in the darkness. So I agree with that 1000%, Joni. So Mio is also telling first time mommy, you know, as long as baby has you. And also another comment on the child support. That's a sensitive topic for me, you guys, so I apologize. First time mommy says, I had a C-section, never made it to the 6 weeks postpartum. When can I take a bath? Had him January 2nd. So yeah, if you're not 6 weeks yet, man, don't talk to your doctor. I know vaginal births, you're not supposed to have a bath. You're not supposed to submerge yourself in water until 6 weeks. But check with your daughter. I don't know what the situation is with you guys submerging yourself after a C-section, if you're still healing from your C-section. So please get the proper medical advice and guidance on that one in particular. If we have any other C-section moms that know a little bit more about when it's appropriate for you to have like an actual bath, y'all tap in and let us know. We got some humor in the chat among the ladies. Baby girl at Mio, she says, why are you copying me? I went to babysit, so I never made it to my appointment. Oh, I see. So first time mommy says that she doesn't have anyone to babysit the baby, so she didn't make it to her appointment. I understand completely. I ended up, me personally, I took my baby with me, but I'm glad you brought that up, man. Not being able to get to your appointment. So there's moms out here, there's different things that can contribute to a mother not being able to take get herself to her medical appointments. You have moms out here who don't have transportation, or maybe they have multiple children, and even if they could take public transportation, maybe the baby is too young to go out and they don't have the, maybe like a stroller or something appropriate to put the baby in order to get themselves and their kids to the hospital. So I just want to shout out any of the moms out here who are, you know, using public transportation to get themselves and their children. That's how I was raised, and it's really hard on, when I tell you the spectrum of motherhood is absolutely freaking insane. I remember as a kid, my mom having 3 kids on the bus. We would go to grocery shop on the bus. We would go to church on the bus, and taking gallons of milk home and cases of water home on the bus is no joke. So for any moms out there that are struggling to get to their doctor's appointments or their kids' appointments on transportation, shout out to you guys, because that's not an easy thing to navigate. I know nobody mentioned that, but I just thought about that just now when you said you weren't able to make it to your appointment. First time mommy. Baby girl says, are you able to bring them along to first time mommy? Mio says, I had a C-section. Mio, I'm confused. Did you also have the same experience? She said, I had a C-section, never made it to the 6 months postpartum, bad postpartum hair loss. Social, I guess you have to apply. I was unaware, so waiting. So first time mommy says to baby girl, I'm waiting for his social. I guess you have to apply. I was unaware, so I'm waiting. Usually the hospital will initiate that paperwork for you. Did no one come in? Did no one from their admin team come in and give you the paperwork to start to get his social security number? Okay, so Mia and baby girl have their some humor going on. And baby girl says you have to apply and start a case for the social. Okay. So don't. So first time mommy is saying, you know, she's saying to me, oh, I had a postpartum where I didn't want to go anywhere and still don't. Yeah, that's a real thing, man. You know what I mean? There's so much going on your day, on a day-to-day, just at the house. It can feel overwhelming to try to get out and do anything. You may not have the mood. You may not be in the mood or not have the energy to get out and do whatever needs to be done. So I understand that completely. And we also have a lot of moms who will check in and say, you know, make sure you get outside and get some sun, you guys. So if you're experiencing postpartum depression and you're wanting to figure out a quick way to kind of just boost your mood a little bit, get out and get some sunlight. That's really healthy for you, okay? So Huston, hey mama, she says, hey moms out there. Huston, you're in labor. Yes, Huston is in the hospital right now with preeclampsia, and she's in labor. So big shout out to Huston again. And hey, don't feel like you need to check in with us, man. If you just need to focus on you and what you have going on, dealing with that is a lot right now. So we just want to make sure that you're okay, Huston. And then let us know whenever time permits. We'll do another live if you have to check in, but definitely focus on you and make sure that you're okay right now. You're in a very important, you're dealing with something more important, right? Yolanda says, hey mamas, I'm a first time mom too, 5 weeks postpartum, and I had no idea about the bath situation. Actually, I don't know anything, really winging it. Yeah, so Yolanda, if you had a vaginal birth, definitely don't sit in like submerge yourself in a bath. There is something called, sitz bath, and that's SITZ for any moms who are dealing with vaginal tears from delivery. And just touch base with your doctor or do a little bit more research on sitz. It's just a little bit of water that you sit, you know, your bottom area into to help soothe and, you know, help yourself heal up down there. But definitely touch base with your doctor about that. And if you're unsure about anything as far as your healing and how to handle yourself with baths, Yolanda, I don't know what your situation is. I don't know if you're C-section or if you did a vaginal delivery, but always, always, always tap in with your OB. Now they have it nowadays. If you have My Chart, you're able to even just send them a message on My Chart and have them respond to you that way. You don't always have to go to physically go to a doctor's office. You don't always have to call. You can actually do everything, a lot of things virtually right now. So make sure you guys are using that resource if you're not able to get out of your homes. got some kids outside making noise, y'all. Mio says good vibes to first time mommy. I've only made it to Jaden's appointment, not mine. So first time mommy is saying that she's made it to her baby's appointments, but she hasn't made it to her own. So you guys, you know, every situation is different. Sometimes we're not always able to prioritize ourselves, but postpartum, if you are able to make it to your doctor's appointments, you want to make sure that you're okay, because we can't see what's happening inside our body. Sometimes we might feel fine, or our tummies might look like they're okay, but we don't know what's going on with our uterus. We don't know what's going on inside of, you know, the birth canal. I don't know what words I'm allowed to say on here, so I'm trying to choose my words here. But definitely, if you have the option to go to your doctor, you want to make sure that you're doing everything to ensure you're healing properly and that you're okay, because ultimately you have to be okay to take care of baby, right? So first time mommy says same to Mio. Miss Petty T, she says, my baby is almost 3 months, still going 4 to 7 days, not pooping. Anyone else going through the same thing? So is it you not pooping, or is it the baby not pooping? So I know that baby, when they're really, really young, they can go extended periods of times without pooping. But if you're not using the bathroom, you might touch base with your doctors, because 4 to 7 days is not normal for any adult not to use the bathroom. I pooped regularly. I think maybe at least every other day minimum. I didn't have any issues with that personally, and I continued to take my Dulcolax, the stool softener that they gave me at the hospital. They prescribed it when I was released. So is that what you're referring to, Petty T? Is it a constipation thing, or do you think it's a diet thing? Because 4 to 7 days is a long time. And I think even with the baby being 3 months, like 4 to 7 days for either of you, I don't think that that's normal. So definitely, again, touch base with your doctor. And you guys, you can always, if you're using my chart, I know you can message them. First time mommy says, tell your doctor to Petty T. So baby girl says to first time mommy, tell them that you're not able to find a sitter. I'm sure they will let you bring them all. So she's saying, tell the doctor the situation, and I'm sure they will make accommodations for you, okay? Billy Fan says, hey sis, wishing, okay. Wishing. Okay, Billy, I don't know if that seems a little weird. So I'm just gonna remove that comment, okay? The viewer will not be able to watch any of your current, okay. So you guys, you know, don't say anything rude or disrespectful in the comments, especially as it relates to children, all right? So y'all be selective with your words, please. Okay, Mio says, I started a case with my nephew. I recorded him drinking milk. Drinking milk. People apply. It's scary. Baby girl says, block that account. What's wrong with people? Mia says, boys are not able to find a sitter. Girls who have boys not able to find a sitter. Well, all right. So this person. Okay, I don't know how to remove comments out of the chat, but apparently this Billy person was just trolling a little bit here. Angie says she's checking in from MA. Your videos are inspiring. My baby is 16 days old. It's not easy, mama. You're absolutely 100% correct. So Angie's about 2 weeks postpartum, and I'm glad that the videos are helpful, mama, and I hope you and baby are doing well, okay? First time mommy says she doesn't trust anybody with her babies, and that's a real thing, you know what I mean? All of us have different experiences with our parents, with our siblings, with our immediate family, whomever, and it can be a really difficult thing. Even if you have a close relationship, having someone around your child, leaving your child alone, especially when they're so young, it can be really, really hard. So I understand that completely. First time mommy, she says her son got all his vaccine the other day. Don't the bottle to feed the baby, very expensive and people don't consider. Mio, I'm not clear on the comment right now. I apologize. She says, don't the bottle to feed the baby, very expensive and people don't consider. Bottle feeding babies, if you're talking about bottle feeding being expensive, it is expensive because the friggin' formula is so expensive. And if you're not someone who can qualify for aid, then these out-of-pocket costs are absolutely ridiculous for formula. I agree with you 100%, and not even just the formula, like the bottles themselves can be pretty pricey too, especially if you're wanting to get a Dr. Brown's or Avent Phillips and the anti-colic bottles, or a glass bottle. Like if some people don't want to do the plastic bottles for their babies, it can get very expensive to bottle feed your baby. Angie says, it's not easy being sleep deprived and caring for my household and other children. 1000%, Angie, it's very difficult to do that. So my biggest recommendation, and if any moms have any tips or tricks for sleep deprivation, is mine is going to be your diet. And it's really difficult, obviously, right now, especially in the first few weeks, but whenever you're at a place where you're able to kind of get the time to maybe cook or meal prep for yourself, is eat foods that are going to help sustain you through that. Sleep deprivation, not only are you tired, but your emotions are out of whack, your temperament, right? You can lose your temper really easy, or you can get sad really easy, angry really easy, because you're not sleeping. You know, you're running on nothing, you're running on fumes, and also taking care of other children and doing whatever else needs to be done, whether that's taking them to school, getting them dinner, getting them prepared in the morning or ready for bed. It's a lot, Angie, so I want to express that to you. It is absolutely 1000% a lot, and sleep deprivation is a monster, man. So if you can maybe alter your nutrition a little bit to kind of get you through this phase. Mio says to Angie, do you get WIC? And are you pregnant? Princess Yakada, shalom, Princess. Shalom, mama, how are you doing? So Princess Yakada is also pregnant. She is probably about 32, 33 weeks right now. She's having a baby girl. So congratulations to her and her family. Shout out, congrats from First Time Mommy. I love my doula. She was the best, man. So yeah, if you have a doula, I love that for the moms who are able to get that extra support from a doula, okay? Got a couple comments. So Joni says, often the hair loss is from the anesthesia. Okay, that's interesting. We had a couple moms on here tap in about hair loss postpartum. So we have a mom checking in from YouTube saying that could be an effect of the anesthesia. Yolanda says the healthcare system is a bit different in South Africa, especially if you are using public facilities. It's channels like this that give me proper insight to ask nurses. So, hey Yolanda, again, I'm happy that this is helpful, man. And it is, you do want to know the right questions to ask your nurse. I'm assuming that you mean while you're in labor. And the different hospitals, yes, different hospitals provide different care. That's 1000%. I had my first daughter at some random hospital, HCAA, and the experience was definitely, it wasn't great. And then I had my son at Texas Children's in Houston, and it was a night and day experience, man. But you definitely want to know exactly what to ask your nurses, what to communicate, and how to advocate for yourself in those situations, because you'll often find, and Yolanda, I apologize if I'm going off on a tangent, but you'll often find that the medical professionals are doing what they're trained to do. They're not there to cater to you as an individual. They are trying to enforce what they have been taught. So you definitely want to go in knowing how to speak up for yourself and be self-aware, so that you know, like, hey, yes, and hey, no, when this comes to my body. Y'all, give me 2 seconds. I need 60 seconds. I gotta run. I've been drinking coffee and water. And I'm gonna pause at this comment from Mio. So Mio says to Princess Yakada, she said, oh, she's watching people in labor and started shouting people out on the live. And she says, you're doing an amazing job. Mio says to Angie, did she have a C-section? I don't know, I'm late. Princess Yakada, I says, I hope my princess is not trying to come early at 33 weeks. I've been having Braxton Hicks for 2 days straight. So Princess Yakada is 33 weeks. I think, you know, sis, Salaki, I'm not too familiar with Braxton Hicks, but as far as I know, you may be safe. I think that's kind of a standard, not standard, but I don't know that you'll necessarily go into labor with Braxton Hicks. If we have anybody who's a little more knowledgeable on Braxton Hicks contractions, y'all tap in. But I think you, I don't think it's always a sign of labor. I don't think. I might be wrong. Okay, Mio. Mio, I'm a little bit lost on your comments right now, babe. I'm sorry. Santana, no, she's not. This is my sister. This is a Freaks Freely chat. Thank you. Yes, it is a free Speak Freely chat. Thawada says. Forever Kel says, you got a jean shirt on. Go start your day over. What does that mean? All right, so let's move you. Thank you, Jazz. Old girl, thank you, Mama. Forever Kels. So I blocked your account. I don't know how many comments you were able to get into the chat, but hopefully. Mimi says, I'm tired, 5 months postpartum. Yes, babe. It's definitely exhausting. We've had a couple moms check in, 3 months postpartum, 4 months postpartum, 5, 6 months postpartum. So it's exhausting. The entire process is absolutely exhausting. So shout out to you for hanging in there. Oh, girl. You guys, if there's some negativity in the chat, I appreciate the support from the mommies, but y'all don't engage. That just kind of fuels for trolls. They feed on that kind of stuff, you know. So just don't engage with any weird comments that you see. Y'all just scroll on by. Jasmine says 4 months postpartum as a first-time mom. Congratulations to you, honey. She says y'all. I gotta pause. I really gotta go. Coffee and water is running through me. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, let me see. Let me just see. We were talking about the healthcare system on here with Yolanda. Chrissy says, I'm 5 months postpartum and I really love your account. Thank you, Chrissy. Thank you for the love, Mama. Melissa says, I still hate my belly flap. I feel really ugly as if I have a crooked smile. Also, I only feel comfortable in leggings or joggers. I saw this video recently with this mom who she had a stylist, right? And so the stylist, hold on, the baby is squirming. Hi, Papa. Y'all, his eyes opened so big just now. I don't know if he's gonna doze back off or if he just took a little cat nap. I see you, Papa. So the stylist was saying to the mom, because she was trying, he had her in a dress that had like a belt to cinch the waist, and she was really self-conscious about her tummy. And the guy was like, how could you be ashamed of, you know, something that happened with your body because of your babies? You know what I mean? Like, this is basically a result of you bringing life into the world, and, you know, you doing something really, really incredible. So if it's hard to say that and not feel what you feel as a woman. Like, every woman wants to feel comfortable in her body, and every mom wants to feel beautiful. So I would say do what you need to do to make yourself feel good. Another thing that a mentor in my life, male mentor, said, he was like, if there's something going on with you that makes you insecure, like, you have to do the work to change that. And it's not easy, and especially when you're dealing with things that happen after birth, like permanent changes, and whether that's with your tummy or with, you know, with your chest, and things that we can't undo. He was like, if you're feeling insecure, then you have to do work on yourself, you know, to build yourself up so you're not feeling that. So maybe you're not able to make the physical changes or reverse what was done to your body permanently from having your babies, but what can you do to build yourself up? What changes can you make to make sure that you love your body and the body that you're in? And if that's a realistic kind of approach to take, let me know how you feel about that. I may just be sharing my perspective. But I hate to hear that you feel that way, because I know it's already hard being a mom, and to have those feelings, that's difficult to juggle. La Queen says, I'm 6 weeks and praying for our rainbow baby. Thank you so much for sharing. My double hip replacement scares me the most, and any other moms in similar situations, I can't find info online. So do we have any other moms in here that have undergone any type of surgery or hip surgery? We did have a mom who checked in. Hi, Papa, saying that she had undergone a hysterectomy, you know, in her 20s, and not quite a hip replacement. You know, it's two very different things, but something that she had experienced as far as a surgical procedure. But shout out to you, La Queen, and, you know, your rainbow baby, amazing miracle baby. So we love that for you. And again, any moms who can kind of shed some light on what it's like to have a similar procedure. And like I said earlier, ma'am, like, motherhood and the experiences that mothers are having, there's such a wide range, right? Like, we have a mom here who's having hip replacements, you know what I mean? We have another mom who went through a hysterectomy. One second. So definitely a wide range of experiences. All right, y'all. So what I'm going to do right now is get through the rest of the TikTok comments, and then I'm going to end because baby boy is waking up. All right, y'all. So Mimi says she's 5 months postpartum and she's tired. Absolutely 1000%. I think I read your comment already. Okay. Hi, Lily. Welcome. Hi, Papa. I might have to end a little bit early, you guys. I'm feeling a little bit tired myself, to be honest. Let me see. Listen to y'all. Okay. Akita who? Hey, Mama, I remember your name. She says, do you get to sleep at night since baby needs to eat every 3 hours? He's actually been eating more often. And I was telling the ladies earlier, he's been eating closer to an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours. So I'm sleeping less now, actually. And the other day I was at work and I noticed that I had like this red patch. It wasn't a burst blood vessel, you know, when you have those little circles of blood. It wasn't that, but there was like this red area in my eye. And it really registered just how exhausted I am. Princess Yakada says my insurance covers covers my rides to and from doctor's appointments. So we know first time mommy had mentioned that she wasn't able to make it to her appointment, but there are insurances that do provide that service of getting you to and from your hospital. So thank you so much, sis, for mentioning that. She says maybe contact your insurance company, okay? All right, so we have a user with the pink hearts. She says, I found out my BD has been cheating while I'm 2 months postpartum, left and decided to focus on my baby. Sometimes it's really hard, you guys, to focus on your children when you have a situation going on with your spouse or partner or child's father. So I love that you are taking this as an opportunity to focus on the baby as opposed to looking at it as an out of control situation. So shout out to you for that. Iris says, my baby is almost 3 months and goes a few days without pooping. Okay, so this is a second mommy, so maybe it is a little bit normal. And you guys check in with your pediatrician and with your OB just to confirm what isn't normal when it comes to the length of time your baby can go without pooping. I remember early on, it's fairly normal for them to go extended periods of time with just pooping maybe once a week. But by the time they're 3 months, I'm not an expert on that, but I love that, Iris. Thank you for bringing that back up, Iris. EstherYouTheBomb.com. Yes, I will do that. I will make you a moderator, Esther, as soon as I figure out how to do that. The next live, if you're in it, because I'm gonna get out of here pretty soon, guys. But the next live, if you're in it, Esther, please, yes, I would love that. I would really appreciate that. That would be amazing. Rachel says, hey, just wanted to say that all you moms are doing an amazing job. Remember to love you also. Thank you for that reminder, Rachel. 100%, man. You have to take care of yourself and love yourself. So shout out to Rachel for that reminder. Hakeem, hey, Hakeem, how are you? Irene says, mine is cheating. I only have 2 weeks to deliver, but I'm staying because I have no option. So every situation is different. You know, every situation, every mom is doing what she needs to do to take care of her baby, okay? Everybody's situation is different. Princess Yakada says, Salaki says, I have to respond because don't come from my sister sweet soul, but I won't respond no more. Constance the water. Again, hey, something. Yes, mommy's gonna give you all the attention. We're gonna say bye-bye, okay? We're gonna say see you later. Yes. 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 Okay. Out the water, sis. But yeah, you guys, those people in the it always amazes me, trolls, man. Like, people really just go out of their way to I mean, they conceal their identities, they create false accounts. So if you really think about the amount of energy and time that people go into, that they put into being a troll, it's really just sad for that person. So I don't take it personally. Like, hey, if you got the time of day to go through all the effort that it takes, do you? Nephew wants attention. Khan says he does. And Esther, thank you so much for the love. So I think I've covered everybody, you guys. I appreciate all of you guys, and thank y'all for sharing. Thank you for the tips. We had some moms recommend saline mist and recommend different breast pump brands. Sea of Tranquility says 4 weeks postpartum. Love watching your videos. Thank you so much, Sea of Tranquility, and congratulations. I hope you and baby are doing well. Laura says baby boy is beautiful. Thank you so much, Laura. But thank you to all the moms who have shared tips and tricks on insurance, breast pumps. Thank you for sharing. Princess Yakada mentioned that her insurance provides transportation to and from your appointments. I'm sure some moms didn't even know that. And then for all the moms who are currently in labor, you know, shout out to you guys, Huston. And then I apologize, we have another mommy in here also that's also in labor. So shout out to all you ladies. Shout out to all the NICU babies and all the moms who are juggling children with special needs and all the moms who are juggling newborns along with other children. You guys are amazing and strong, and this is very difficult, and don't ever downplay it. Like, recognize your strength and what it takes to get through every day as a mother and meeting the needs of yourself and your children and everything in between, okay? So I appreciate you guys, and I will check in with y'all next time. Terry, we're checking out Terry, but thank you so much for joining us, okay? Y'all enjoy your day. I will see y'all next time.